Wow, they want to impeach the president. This is amazing. I mean, seriously, they're seriously talking about this. It started out with Ed Meese. Remember Ed Meese? He was the guy, he was the attorney general during the Reagan administration, and he put together this commission on pornography. And he volunteered to watch a whole bunch of pornography. My recollection is it was something like 60 hours of pornography, including things. I mean, there's this whole variety of pornography that his commission studied: child porn, snuff porn, torture porn, you name it, right? And Ed Meese watched a bunch of it and then came out with a statement that it will warp your brain. So he was the first guy. Yesterday, he came. He's kind of an older guy now, but he came out, the former Reagan attorney general, and he's currently with the Heritage Foundation. And he said, Obama may have really tried to override the Constitution itself. Now, just keep in mind, President Obama has issued fewer executive orders than any president in the last 100 years. Seriously, fewer executive orders than any other president in the last 100 years. I'm not sure who was president in 1912. Would that have been Taft? Yeah, just before whoever, let's see, 12 would have been an election year. So, well, whoever it was. Anyhow, it was after Teddy Roosevelt. But it's here you got Ed Meese saying, yeah, this is clearly unconstitutional. Another one of these bozos, Congressman Steve Stockton, he says he's going to introduce, he's a Republican from Texas, for our viewers in Texas. If Steve Stockton happens to be your congressman, you might want to call him up and thank him or not, as the case may be. The president, executive order, let me just clarify this for a minute. Executive orders are things that the president does within the context of powers that he has that have been given to him either by Congress or the Constitution. All right, let's just make that really, really clear. Congress will pass a law saying, clean up the lakes. Too much mercury in the lakes. You got to clean up the lakes. Here's $100 million, clean up the lakes. And they pass that along to the executive branch because Congress doesn't do anything. I mean, not quite literally. They pass laws, but you're not going to find Louis Gohmert out there cleaning up your lake. Or in this case, Congressman Steve Stockman. He's not going to actually do it. Instead, they say to the president, to the executive branch, you do it, and here's the funds. Either hire somebody to do it or hire government employees to do it, but get it done. And sometimes Congress specifies how it's to be done. You will hire Halliburton to do this. And sometimes they simply say, here's $100 million, please clean up this lake. And if that's the case, then the president looks at the job, and sometimes he'll appoint a commission to do it, or he'll hire a company to do it, or he'll issue an executive order saying, okay, here's how you're going to clean up the lake. First, you get a whole bunch of sponges, and then you run those sponges around the top of the lake, and then you take them over to another lake, and you wring them out, and you bring them back, whatever. And that's what executive orders are for. They're the president saying, this is how I'm going to do something that Congress has already given me the power and authority to do. Period. Full stop. The president cannot say, I'm going to decide to clean up the lake and spend $100 million doing it, because he has no authority to spend money and he has no authority to raise taxes. It's one of the reasons why I find it so bizarre that these Republicans are running around trying to blame this deficit on President Obama. Or President Bush, for that matter. It's Congress that has the sole power to raise taxes and spend money and establish laws within which those taxes can be raised and that money can be spent or borrowed. So anyhow, President Obama is issuing 23 different executive orders. They're basically saying things like telling the Department of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms or actually the CDC was the one. He said, we're going to ask the Centers for Disease Control to figure out what's going on with gun violence. Are there patterns here? Are there things that we can learn from this? Their job is to look out for the health and safety of Americans. Just a few of the quotes. Congressman Louis Gohmert. It's not something a constitutional president would do. Oh, wait a minute. The president was elected by the Electoral College. That's in the Constitution. He is a constitutional president. What? Yeah, don't expect logic from Louis Gohmert. Marco Rubio. President Obama is again abusing his power. Right. Marco Rubio just wants to be president so bad he can taste it. Congressman Steve Stockman. Barack Obama is an existential threat to this nation. Darrell Issa, the richest or second richest guy in the House of Representatives, former small-time crook. Imperial behavior. Congressman Paul Brown took it even a step further. He says he's a dictator. And, of course, Reince Priebus, the head of the RNC, the guy in charge of the Republican Party, the party that flipped the stars upside down, replaced the five-pointed star with the little star at the top, like the one on your Christmas tree kind of thing. He took that star and flipped it upside down so it's like the star that the guys from the Church of Satan worship. By the way, yesterday, the Satan worshipers, there actually is a Satan worshiping church down in Florida. And they went to Tallahassee to have a rally to thank Governor Rick Scott for pushing through a piece of legislation that says that kids in school can pray. Now, kids in school can already pray. But the school can actually involve itself in this because they're evangelical. They want more people worshiping Satan. And, given that the Republican Party flipped the stars upside down, I guess that makes perfect sense. So you got Steve Stockman, Trey Riddell, Republican from Florida. He says, and this is a lie, by the way, that one of Obama's executive orders is to, quote, ban guns, end quote. Sorry, it's a lie. Louis Gohmert, I shared that with you. Ed Meese, the porn warped his brain. So, what do you think? You think this is, it's like Darrell Issa has been trying so hard to find something that he can impeach the president over because, after all, it's his second term. Democratic president, second term. When was the last time that happened? Let's see. Lyndon Johnson, well, now his second term actually was not really a second term because his first term was only half a term. Jimmy Carter didn't have a second term. Jack Kennedy didn't have a second term. He got assassinated. Harry Truman had a second term, but that was not quite a second term because he had a first term that was only half a term because Franklin Roosevelt died. I guess, in the 20th century, the presidents that had a second term were FDR, who had a second, third, and fourth, and Bill Clinton. And with FDR, they actually tried to hire a Marine general, Smedley Butler, to lead an armed revolution against him, an insurrection. And with Bill Clinton, of course, they tried to impeach him. So now we've got a third Republican or Democratic president with a second term. Of course, impeach him.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
There's a certain point at which you look at the Republican Party with their upside-down stars and their bizarre thing, and you just say, have you guys no shame or no intelligence?